A new Division I women's volleyball poll has been released, and this is the last one until the NCAA tournament, by the way, which starts next week. And it goes as follows. Nebraska with 64 first place votes, obviously. Stanford, Pitt, Texas, Wisconsin, Oregon, Louisville, Tennessee, Arkansas, Kentucky, Washington State, Georgia Tech, Purdue, Penn State, Kansas, BYU, Creighton, Arizona State, Dayton, Florida, Western Kentucky, Houston, Florida State, USC as University of Southern California, and Baylor consists of the top 25. Receiving vote teams are Marquette with 47, UC Santa Barbara with 33, Minnesota with 29, Auburn 24 votes, Utah State 17 votes, Iowa State 16 votes, SMU 16 votes, Kansas State 14 votes, and Pepperdine with 10. I'm going to go over the RPI one more time here, and it's not going to change that much between now and then, if any. And it's important for those top 16 seeds potentially, as well as the bubble teams out there. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens when all is said and done. But the 1 through 16, I'm going to go like actually 1 through 20 just to give a good glimpse on the RPI. Nebraska, Stanford, Pitt, Louisville, Texas, Wisconsin, Oregon, Tennessee, Kentucky, Purdue, Arkansas, Creighton, Washington State, Kansas, BYU, Utah State, Florida, Arizona State, Georgia Tech, and Western Kentucky are those teams. But I'm going to just look at the bubble teams potentially like 4 through 16. As we all know, there's only a certain amount of qualifiers out there. Yeah, there's 32 of those, by the way. So yeah, that's 40 through 60 goes as follows: like Western Michigan, Pepperdine, NC State, Minnesota, Coastal Carolina, Duke, TCU, Loyola Marymount in California, UMBC, Loyola Chicago, High Point, Florida Coast University, Yale, Drake, Georgia, UCLA, Colorado State, Kansas State, Rice, Delaware, St. John's, and New York are just some of those teams. Of course, if you're any of those bubble teams, you got to win as much as possible. You got to win out. You got to win both a game. If you have only one game this week, you got to win that game. If you have 2 games this week, you got to win those 2 games. You can't have any more losses. And the same thing goes for the top 16, potential top 16 teams as host sides for the first and second rounds. Because if you're a top 4 seed, you get to host up to not just first and second round, but Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 match. No matter if you lose in a Sweet 16 or not, you get to play at that team's floor. So you got to hope for teams to lose, if other teams to lose besides you win. And if you're in a conference tournament, if you have one, you got to win it. But if nothing else, you got to win those individual tournaments. And the same thing goes for all those teams that are outside looking in on it, like at 60, because their conference is just that weak and the RPI is that low. It's a one-bid league. You got to win your conference, or if not a conference tournament, just to get in. And in general, if you're a bubble team, if you have a conference tournament, you got to win your conference tournament if you can. If you even have one, that's the thing. You got to avoid bad losses for those bubble teams and the potential top 16 teams. So yeah, that's just basic right there. And now I'm going to go with my top 10, which is similar to the poll, by the way, but it's a little bit different. Like Nebraska, Stanford, Pitt, Texas, Oregon, Louisville, Wisconsin, Tennessee, Arkansas, Kentucky are just those teams. Outside looking at it, like Washington State, Georgia Tech, Purdue, Penn State, Kansas, and even BYU. And what are some top 25 games between now and the season ends? Regular season, that is. Number 24, USC. Number 6, Oregon. Number 22, Houston at number 25, Baylor. Number 12, Georgia Tech at number 7, Louisville. Number 10, Kentucky at number 9, Arkansas. Number 18, Arizona State at number 11, Washington State. Number 1, Wisconsin at number 5. Number 1, Nebraska at number 5, Wisconsin. My bad. But you get the whole point. It's a top 5 showdown. It's a rematch. And number 20, Florida at number 10, Kentucky. And once the brackets are released, I'm going to discuss that once it is released, which the selection show is on ESPN on November 26th at 5 p.m. Central Time. So just keep an eye out for that down the line. And I will recap, not like first and second rounds, obviously. Then I'll do Sweet 16 and Elite 8 the following week. Then it's Final Four and the national title match. And the national title match, by the way, I'm definitely going to go over like individual set scores. And I'm going to just go ahead and just do the same thing for the Final Four scores, to be honest. Just to give y'all some idea. And if y'all would be interested in the first and second rounds and you like Elite Sweet 16 or Elite 8 set scores, y'all could look it up if you want. Or if you want to ask me what happened, I gladly tell it in the comments on particular scores. So anyways, if you like this content, like and subscribe, and see you guys later on the road to 600 subscribers. Of course, ultimate goal is 1,000 more, so make money off this. Of course, liking a video, commenting a video really helps YouTube algorithm, so more people can see it. Of course, sharing the video does help as well, so more people can watch. And if you're watching and not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, it's free, and hit the notification bell as well.